souse us therefore in the powdering tub of thy mercy,
that we may be tripes fit for the heavenly table,
welcome, Meatsmiths. You are listening to a Meatsmith harvest
restoring husbandry to prosperity
by the traditions of our fathers.
This Farmstead Meatsmith production is made possible by you. If you like it, please consider supporting our team by going to patreon.com/Meatsmith and donating at a level you'd enjoy giving at. Your gift helps us increase the quality and quantity of all our free media education. Thank you, and happy harvesting.
I have been amazed at the new smellscapes that we are experiencing now, because we have a dairy cow.
That's right.
Sorry, I'm just jumping in, I guess. We got a cow. Her name is Georgie. She's a Jersey cow. She is the sweetest bovine on this green earth. She is so cute. And she smells delicious. She smells like butter and milk in my hands. I milk her every day. And we're very clean. Like, I'm washing things. I'm washing all of the milk bucket and everything. I wash my hands so many times in the day. It's just a habit. Nonetheless, she definitely, her aura, her aroma is permeating our life. The farm field, the pasture, the kitchen and the butcher shop, which has become the little dairy for washing all the things, and my hands, because I milk her every day. And it is such a delicious smell. It's so incredibly evident that her domestication is inscribed in my genetics, because it's just appetizing all the time.
Oh.
The smells. Like even her burps. She burped in my face once. Just full on face burp.
Yeah.
And it wasn't gross. I was like, it smells kind of good, Georgie.
Well, I can say the same thing about when our babies do that in my face, which happens all the time.
Yeah.
Even if they're not just on milk, if they're actually eating solid foods and they burp, it's like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you would think that, a functioning digestive system that is operating in accord to a right order, it shouldn't reek. Reeking is the result of putrefaction.
That's right.
Of things that aren't moving, of things that are going poorly.
People have said that when they come to our place or some other healthy farm and they're like, those pigs don't smell.
Yeah.
Or, my pigs don't smell. Why is that?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a trope in the movies or whatever that the pig's sty always smells.
Yes.
But it is a result of bad food when it smells.
Yep. And rotting guts.
Yeah.
The gut is just not doing good.
Right.
Yeah. My cow's burps don't smell. They're nice.
That's right. It's good alfalfa.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but...
It is, yeah. Organic. And I'm hoping that we can, through what we do already, which is very diligent pasture rotations when the grass starts growing again. Right now there's nothing. I'd love to wean her off of it entirely. I think she has that capacity.
Yeah.
I think she can do it. She did not get a bunch of grain at her previous farm, which was one of my stipulations in finding a cow. Didn't want her to be grain dependent for her condition and production. So I think I'm going to try to slowly wean her off. The main thing that I like about the alfalfa is not just the boost in protein, but it kind of has all the minerals that bovines crave and need. So it's kind of like, in my mind, it's this, just in case they're not getting quite everything, trace minerals and vitamins, at least they're getting alfalfa, and that hopefully can fill the gaps, because the mineral is so important. I give her other mineral. I give her C90, salt, and but it's been great. We've only, we're 5 days into milking her every day, so it's brand new, and she excels preeminently at the art of domestication. It's ridiculous. I was talking about it with our Meatsmith members last night during our live chat. So it's a little repetitious, but I just can't believe how she identifies with us.
Yes.
And not other quadrupedal entities on the property.
Okay.
Like she doesn't really care about other cows or other sheep. She wants to hang out with us. She wants to climb into our bed and be with us. You know, if we walk by, she throws her head over and gives you a little moo, like, come over here.
Don't forget about
or
me.
I should go over there. Like,
Yeah.
she is so comfortable with us, which is a very, you know, when you're raising animals for meat, you're used to animals at the very least being very aware of the human touch, of human contact. Not if anything, they're not passive. Either, and so sheep are a preeminent example of that. Like, you're always a predator to a sheep. A pig always jumps at, like, what? Why are you touching me?
Yeah.
Proximity, unless, you know, I guess our boar and sow are pretty much at that point. But I can't tell them what to do. They're not into higher level domestic cooperation. And this girl is. It's incredible. She is so sweet. She is so sweet. I just haul to her. I can take her anywhere. And even if she's like, no, I don't want to go over there, which sometimes she does, for who knows why, it's so hilarious. She'll just kind of stop. You know, like, usually if you try to force an animal to do something, you lose every time. So that's why with all the other creatures on the farm, it's a negotiating business. It's like, I'm going to put a chute here and a lure over there so that you choose to go where I want you to go, either into the paddock with the new grass or to the food bowl. You're a little hungry. Like, you're always negotiating. You're offering them a carrot.
Yeah.
So that they go of their own will, because you're not forcing them. Like, that's just crazy. That's insane. That's chaos. But when she does this funny thing where she's just like, no, I'm just going to stand here. And it's like, no, we need to go back to the paddock. You can just tug on her.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. And then she'll go. Which
that is different.
that secondary negotiation, that response to a little bit of force, I've never experienced that in an animal.
Right.
So this is new. Like, sometimes you just get behind her and give her a little push on the back. And she's like, all right. And then she gets going again. It's so funny.
That's cute.
Anyway.
So you're having fun out there.
I do. I really enjoy milking. We're just doing once a day milking. We get a little over a gallon and a half. So.
Not quite.
Which is good, but it is not enough.
It's like drinking milk. Barely. And like, maybe we'll have cream for our coffee the next morning.
Maybe. Yeah, so here's the problem. We drink all the milk from each day's milking in that day.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah. And
it doesn't even fully chill. So I don't even know where her cream line is. I don't know. The milk jar never is still long enough to develop a cream line.
It's true. I know.
It's just gone. So I don't know if she has lots of cream.
Yeah.
She's a Jersey. I assume. Her milk tastes very creamy.
There's
very
like
sweet and creamy.
A little bit of milk left at the bottom of the jar, and you and I have to put like laser force fields around it if we want to maybe have some cream with our coffee the next morning.
Yeah.
And make a huge warning,
you
know, blast throughout the house. Please leave some milk for your poor mom and dad.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of factors. Like, I think she's, it's her first freshening. She just calved in November. She is open right now. So we need to get her bred as soon as possible. And we're learning, you know, her teats are medium small.
Yeah.
They're, you know, what is like a 16-ounce coffee. They're 12-ounce. They're 10-ounce coffees. So it's like, I can do it. She's got nice big, her os, so which I think is the hole at the end of the teeth. Those are big. So that, like, it's nice, thick strings. But it's, you know, I'm just getting a purchase with my middle finger on each teat.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
The thumb and the index finger trap the top, and it's just
you got one finger to work with.
Yeah, my ring finger and my pinky are they just got to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Or else they misdirect the spray. So there was a little bit. I mean, it's 5 days, and I'm pretty good at it now. I was surprised at how sore my hands were the first day, and how they're fine the second day. I don't know how that happened, but I'm good. Like I'm not sore. I'm not locking up. But after the first day, like I was like, my left hand was spasming. I was like, oh, this isn't good.
Yeah.
But no problem. So I think a little bit of it is, at least for the first 2-3 days, I wasn't milking her out all the way, which will lower her production a little bit because she's used to being machine milked. But now we're back up. I feel like I'm really getting her udder loose, and getting everything she has to give, which is about a little over 1.5 gallons.
And we're just doing once a day milking.
Yes, that's right.
So.
And because that's just what works with our schedule. I do not think we could, until we get other kids online milking, which is going to take a while. I realize that the milkers in training program that we have, it's going to take forever.
Yeah.
Because there are 5 children that want to milk.
Yeah.
And that are physically capable of it. So I have to train 5. Because thou shalt not just train 1. They will murder the one. They all want to milk.
I know.
Even Johnny says he doesn't want to milk, and he's always in there milking.
Oh, right.
Yeah, every day, even when it's someone else's turn. So we have to take turns, which means when you have 5 people, that is like one kid gets a chance, basically once a week.
Yeah.
So that really slows down their learning curve. So I think we might just need to focus on one and be like, all right, it's just you for 5 days so you can build up the strength and really see the stamina you need to go all the way to an empty udder and then do all the cleanup.
That's part of it, too, is they don't want to do the cleanup.
Yeah.
It's sort of like everyone wants to cut meat, but no one wants to wrap it and do all the cleanup.
Yeah.
So that's what I did that for the first time today. I kind of envision that being my role.
Yeah.
It's just the cleanup and make sure that it stays organized. That the towels go in the right spot and the funnels get washed right and sorry. Yeah. So it's we're on the learning curve right now. Yeah. But we love it. We do love the milk. It's really delicious.
Yeah. We totally need another cow.
We just need more. Yeah.
Because there's a whole, honestly, yes, the milk makes it into the household, but our household, just the humans, they need more. If we're going to do cheese and butter. Yeah. And sour cream.
Well, and
kefir.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole other crowd of beings that need milk, and that's the pigs and the chickens. Yeah. To offset the feed costs.
I mean, we might eventually get to we need to do two milkings a day so that we can get more out of each cow. But that also is going to require some major scheduling.
Lots of milking personnel. Yeah. Capable.
Right. So we'll get there. I do think we're going to end up having to do that.
Yeah.
But we have jujitsu one night a week. So that we're going to need the girls to do the milking then.
Which means you're going to be on the little crazy people. Yeah. Dominica and Vincent.
Right. I'm not going to do the baby screaming on the back while I milk thing. God bless the women that do. But I'm just not going to be able to do that. And it's mostly because, and I have done that actually with other things. Yeah. Not milking.
You kind of grow out of that though. The carrying the baby and doing all the things.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just because I have teenagers and my body's more broken in my early 40s now. So I just don't have that in me. But I don't want to do that anymore. I think my ears have had enough. I'm getting headaches, stress level. Like I'm not going to do it. So I need to save myself a little bit. But I do see us Tuesday nights is going to have to be girls because you guys do jujitsu. And then Wednesday night's mass. So I'm going to have to keep a couple of middle kids home while the older boys serve or something on Wednesdays. Yeah. Maybe that's our 11-year-old boy that milks that night. And then Thursdays, well, Mondays you have Scola, you know, so it's like, who's going to do it that night?
Right.
Maybe it's me, and then you leave this older kids home. I don't know. And then Thursday, you're going out with the boys to weightlift. So maybe that's another girl night. And then Friday, I think we're all home. So it's just every night is different.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah. And then Sundays we go out to people's houses once in a while, you know, maybe once a month. So Sunday nights, I don't know.
I know. See, that's why I'm more inclined just to get another cow or two and just once
do
a day
big
milking.
morning session and not do any evening, because our evenings as an older family now, it's hard to find that evening.
Yeah.
Well,
and there's evening mass too on Wednesdays.
Yeah. The evenings are tough once your family is older. So anyway, we'll work all that out. In the meantime, it's fun. It's good.
She's a pleasure. Yeah.
It seems like we're working towards the full circle of closing the loops in certain ways. I mean, we're still bringing in alfalfa, you know.
I know.
But it's not perfect. But
I would like to ask the Dohertys about that. You know, because I want to judge her condition accurately. Like, I want to look at her and be like, you know, I'm going to start weaning her off of alfalfa, and I can tell, judging by her condition, she's going to be okay. Because dairy cows, to me, a slaughterman who raises animals for meat, they all just look like sacks of bones that are 2 inches from death.
Yeah.
That's just because of my eye. Dairy animals are crazy. They put no muscle on their skeleton. It's all in the udder.
Yeah.
And so even whenever I first saw her, any, you know, walk up to any dairy cow, I'm like, I have that panic moment, like, oh my gosh, this animal's gonna die. It's like, no, that's just what they do. You can see all their hips. I can see all their vertebrae. I can count their ribs. Like when I feel her neck, I can feel each vertebra. I can feel her paddywhack and that thin little flap from her skull to their shoulder blades. I can see everything, and I can see most of it, and I can feel everything. Feel every single bone she's got. But that's how dairy cows do.
Yeah.
And so I know I'm going to err on the side of, let's fatten her up a little bit. I want her to be, you know, a plump, sleek girl. But that's a different body type. That is a different condition. Yeah. She is on purpose putting that energy into that udder.
So you're saying we may
back.
actually not want that, even though you err that way.
Yeah.
It might not be good for her.
Well, it could also just be a waste of resource. Like, I just don't need to be buying that much alfalfa.
Yeah.
If any. She might not need it. But I don't I know that I don't know if I could judge that.
Right.
Because I'm just gonna be like, she's skinny. Feed her. It's like, no, she's actually okay.
Yeah.
And I've heard people describe it like you don't want to see too sharp of pronounced through her skin on her shoulder blade up front. Apparently, that's the metric. Like ribs, you see ribs all day on a dairy cow. You definitely the hips. But I guess they're a little too skinny when you can start to see the shoulder blade.
Oh, okay.
On the front.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've seen that, so I want to be able to see that. But she looks great now. She's cleaned up a little bit. She's zero mud where she's at with the sheep. So she's all clean and fluffy. And anybody can milk her at any time. Anyone can walk around her. She can, technically the first time and a few times after that, all 11 of us have been crowded around her in the little horse stable that we milk her in.
Yeah.
Dominica's running around. Tuck is like running around. Is the dog.
Yeah.
the cat, and she is just don't care.
Yeah.
She just stands there.
Yeah.
And I'm fiddling around with her udders like a ding dong, trying to figure things out, and she just stands there
Yeah.
and nibbles some alfalfa, and
Yeah.
she's so patient, and she is not picky. She's so passive.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah.
I think I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, it was pretty neat being in there with everyone.
Yeah.
Kind of like, have you ever been in your house bathroom with your entire family? That's a fun experience.
During a tornado warning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what it was.
Yeah.
Like, we have 10 acres and we're all right here.
Yeah.
But it was a neat moment. It was one of those climactic moments in a family's life, I think. Milking her for the first time, and we're all in there.
Yeah. All the kin.
Yeah. Doing it poorly, you know, doing it for the first time, and everyone's excited, and you know, we almost spilled the entire whole first gallon, and but there was something good about it.
Yeah, and I've noticed too, like shovels will drop, someone will knock over a shovel. Dominica will yell her triumphant something at one of her siblings. 5-gallon bucket will dunk 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 dunk, you know, on the concrete or something. And she does not. She is so chill.
Yeah,
she
Vincent
doesn't
will yell.
jump. She doesn't lift up her head to look at it. Nothing.
That was probably our top priority in getting a milk cow was docility.
Yeah, that was number one, and she has exceeded what I thought was possible as far as docility goes in domesticated animals. Yeah, I can't believe it. Like nothing phases her.
Yeah,
she does not jump at all. The only thing that she vocalizes about is us. She just wants us,
society,
to come out there and visit her sometimes.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
So far. Maybe we're in the honeymoon phase. We'll see.
No, I think it's there to last.
Yeah, I think it's her temperament.
Yeah. Okay, so we will have the Dohertys on pretty soon. I'm working that out with them right now on the podcast. If you don't know of Beth and Sean Doherty yet, you will. We're super excited. To have them on, so they can. We'll just exchange notes and hopefully encourage other people to get their cow too. Because if you're going to have pigs, I mean, we've been saying this forever. If you're going to have pigs, it really makes sense to get a cow. What's funny though too is I'll talk to some people locally who have a cow. They've been doing dairy for a long time. Yeah. And when I say like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get a cow because then we can feed our pigs with the milk. They're just like, what? Like, wait. You're going to feed your precious milk to your pigs? It sounds funny sometimes if you've done it the other way around. But because we started with pigs first, I think we're just excited for that overflow to happen and then maybe not spend as much money. Right. We haven't reached that yet. But
no, we have. We're spent. Oh yeah, with feeding them.
No, we have no extra milk to feed the pigs yet.
Yeah. I know. So we're not there at that economy, but yeah.
But that's supposed to be a neat way to.
I have done it. Yeah, but it was someone else's way for making cheese. Yeah. And it was awesome. You can just buy a straight run of grain or grow some roughage, some feed for them. And then ensure that they get about a gallon a day per pig. And that fills all their protein needs. It's incredible. And I would say even a gallon that's generous. In my experience, I don't think I was always hitting a gallon per day per pig. And they were still fat, happy, and radiantly healthy. Yeah. Exuberance in pigs. It is so good, which it should be no surprise. I mean, it's milk. Yeah. Pigs are mammals. We do the milk. Us mammals. If you've got the pigs and the cow, then that's your lacte et carne. I don't know where I saw this, but Julius Caesar, I think, was describing the Gauls, so the Proto-Europeans, as he was conquering the Mediterranean, and he said, lacte et carne vivunt. They live on milk and meat. That's how they live. I get it. I could live on milk and meat. Yeah. Easy.
That's a good diet right there.
Yeah.
So speaking of diets and lactate et carne, you can come and check out our systems if you would like. And we have a cow now to show for it too. So
I would like to show her off. She's pretty cool.
yeah. But we have 3 classes that we're trying to sell this spring. So we opened up a Family Pig 2 course that is May 22nd through 24th. And
Yeah.
we've talked extensively about that.
Yeah, I think we did last time.
But we sold out of our first one, so we wanted to open up a second one.
Yeah.
We've also got a family beef. 2 of them in May. May 2nd through 3rd. And May 30th through 31st.
Yeah.
And those are just 2-day classes.
And that will cover the slaughter of a cow right here in the field, and the butchery the next day of a carcass that has been hanging for 30 days. So you'll get to see the effect of dry aging firsthand, what it looks like and how wonderful it doth taste. And it'll be good. We're going to cut up the cow so that there is 0 trim. There will be no waste, which is, it's silly that that's such a big deal, but it is an utterly novel concept today, as far as how beef is cut conventionally, where over 50% is considered trim or waste. And that's not least of all because half the weight of that hanging carcass is bone. And they just chuck all the bone. And then there's also the dry pellicalized skin that happens when you dry age for 30 days. And we're going to talk about that because you don't need to remove that either. You can work with it. Because that's another thing they'll do. They remove all that skin if they age it that long, which nobody does. They age it at most for 14 days. And if by reason of luck, they might leave it in there for 28. That's the longest I've ever seen. But no one goes the full 30. And I would say 30 is the minimum. And it renders those muscles that are tough and lean, tender and juicy. It's like magic.
Yeah.
It's like cheating. It's a cheat. All you have to do is nothing. Hang the carcass. Don't touch it. Just let it hang. And then even the bottom round, the eye of round, the tough, lean muscles will become tender. It's incredible. And it takes a full 30 days to get there. Yeah, so that's what we'll do with the beef classes. They're awesome. And a couple of the cows we're going to harvest are the most flavorsome. So I'm actually really happy about this. They're going to be longhorns. But one of them is going to be an old girl. She's going to be like 12 years old. And
Wow.
yeah, so that is universally considered, oh, that's just good for grind, which is utterly, tragically ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is the most flavorful beef you will ever have.
Yeah.
This is a universal truth. It's an objective reality. The longer the cow lives, the more flavorsome she becomes, or he. The older, the better. We are completely backwards on that in our concept of what we want from meat. It's just that it's kind of expensive to keep a cow or a pig for a super long time. But not that they start to taste weird or even become tough. Toughness is more a result of physiology, less so of age. It's how the muscle, this particular skeletal muscle, functions on the carcass, not necessarily how old it is. Now, some of the fascia, the cartilaginous soft bone, as it were, will become tougher and harder, but not so that you don't get steaks. Like, you still get steaks from a 12-year-old cow. They will be incredible. It's hard to describe the enhancement in flavor, and we're going to prove it in the class, because we do the beef classes are really cookery classes. We roast marrow bones, we make steak tartare.
That's true.
The actual way. We shave the beef. and then we roast around, wrapped in the caul fat from the cow, and we braise osso buco. We braise the shanks, so good, and we pan fry some stuff, some steaks, and we all eat a lot, very well. It's really fun.
The poor's head in hand bear I, bedecked with bays and rosemary.
How many people do you know who are building their home culture around seasonal harvest and feasting? Or that are hunting as you are for self-sufficiency and back to the land values? Or that share your artist's passion for human-scale meatcraft? At FarmsteadMeatsmith.com, we've created a community of hundreds of omnivores from around the world with these shared goals, and 2 major places for them to learn from and inspire one another. First, we have our semi-annual hands-on educational event, The Family Pig, here at our Heartland homestead in Oklahoma. Come meet Brandon, get your elbows greasy, and over the course of 3 days, kill, cut, cure, and cook 2 pigs completely. You'll rub those greasy elbows with other meatsmiths from around the country, sharing meals and conversations to inspire you for years to come. Secondly, for more remote learning, over at FarmsteadMeatsmith.com, we host a purely digital membership program with an archive of film and textual resources 5 years deep now. And both our on-site classes and online program include access to our most unique and rewarding private community Facebook page, Meatsmith Table, which is the only international network by and for homesteaders harvesting animals on a domestic scale using traditional and regional methods. We've been told that our classes are life-changing and the membership program unparalleled in quality and quantity. To get a taste of our education, search FarmsteadMeatsmith.com and our YouTube channel for our free films, conversations, and downloads. Explore how we and other meatsmiths across the globe may best come alongside you and support you in building your home around the harvest. Please head to FarmsteadMeatsmith.com today.
So that's the beef class in May. We have 2 of those.
Yep.
And then we also have a lamb class in June, I believe.
Yeah.
A lamb harvest class.
Yeah.
And I think this will be the first lamb class wherein all the class curricula comes from our farm.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our ewes had 4 lambs this year, so that is what we need for our class.
June 19th through 21st.
Yeah. And that is a 3-day, and that will be great.
Yeah, May and June.
Of course, all these classes start with the living animal. Yeah, and we slaughter it with a simple backyard situational setup.
Yeah.
And
sometimes that's a good point to think about too. Sometimes if you've gone to conventions and everything is pretty much there. They're usually great. People learn a lot. But for some reason, some bureaucratic rule prevents you from actually killing the animal in front of people. So you have gone to the back alley and just done the killing off stage.
That's right. Yeah.
And then a few people will see it inevitably, and then you can bring it out.
Yeah, when we do the conferences, it's happened a couple times where the township or the city is like, you can't discharge a firearm here. Not or not on the fairgrounds or something. So we literally drive like 4 or 5 blocks away, kill the animal there, and then drive it back.
Yeah.
Or we just disobey and almost get shut down. That happened in Idaho once.
Oh, really?
I didn't know. I was blissfully unaware because I was blissfully,
Doing
scalding and scraping a pig and teaching a huge crowd of people. And but it was close. They were standing there. I didn't even notice them.
Really?
But the police and the fair people, they were moments away.
Why?
From shutting me down.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why. I never even got the full story.
Oh, really?
I just heard that it was super close. Maybe they noticed that we had already done the illegal shooting of the pig. There was no other shooting that was going to happen.
And you're just like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, so it was just a ask for forgiveness, not permission type of situation.
Oh, wow.
And it worked out. But I also didn't get invited back. So I don't know if they wanted to pick that particular battle again.
Oh, man, yeah.
But that's why sometimes I recommend to these conferences that we do sheep, because you can kill a sheep artfully and well with just a knife. It is a skill. Just like you don't just shoot a pig in the head, you also don't just kill a sheep with a knife. Like, you have to do it well. You have to completely control the body of the sheep. Then it can be tranquil and peaceful.
But all that to say, here, the animal is live.
Yeah.
You will see the entire thing.
And the sheep is cool, because that is one thing where I really try to offer the students to do the kill themselves, because they can. And I've got a particular way that I set it up where I'll have a student learn the sheep jiu-jitsu, the sheep handling, because it's all about the handling. If you're going to do a knife kill, more important than even the stroke of the knife is how you handle the sheep in order to deliver that death cut. And so one person can focus on that, getting their sheep jiu-jitsu well, and the other then can deliver the cut.
Yeah.
And that works pretty well.
Yeah.
And we can switch off, because we'll do more than one sheep, of course. We do several, and they're great. People go home and then they do it themselves, and they do it really well,
Yeah.
because we teach good skinning methods.
Yeah.
Skinning is a messy business usually, but we do pretty well at it.
Yeah.
But
So
those are the classes.
May and May is packed, and June.
Yeah.
Mid-June, and we'll have them. It won't be too hot. Usually May is beautiful. It's kind of tornado season, so it can get a little dicey and exciting. But it's a great time to visit our neck of the woods.
Yeah. Don't worry about the tornadoes. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't say that to dissuade you. I say that
We
to
stay here.
entice you.
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have plenty of advanced warning systems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
No,
there's
I think it's fun. That's how they do around here, too. People, boast about
watching the tornado.
watching a tornado, get a beer, and you just sort of sit out and watch it. We've never done that, but
Yeah.
it's fun. Anyway, it's a great time of year. It's beautiful, too.
It is the most
green.
beautiful time of year. Yeah.
The grass is finally growing, so. We keep mentioning in shallow ways how we treated our kids with the whooping cough. And I wanted to kind of just gloss over.
We could actually give a rundown of it this time.
Yeah.
Instead of talking about it.
That's right.
Okay.
All the periphery subjects.
Because some of you were interested in it. You wanted more detail.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can tell you the people that we found, the doctors, and the method, the approach.
Yeah.
Because you're going to want to have a plan if
Yeah.
whooping cough descends upon your family biome.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, too. I was thinking about, I was starting to say this at the end of the last episode, and I don't know if I said it well, but that is that when you live a homestead life, and you're eating healthy, and you are living off of your land as much as possible, you're treating things at home anyway, you rarely go to the doctor except for in emergency situations, it really doesn't make sense to fear treating whooping cough. It's almost like let's say you were, tell me if this is wrong, but if you spent your time building and perfecting a race car, and you build it to perfection, you're confident in it, you spare no expense, you're doing it perfectly, and then competition comes, and you're like, I don't know if I should use my race car. I think I want to use that guy's race car. I kind of trust it more, or I heard some good things about it, or maybe I just need to spend some money. I'd rather spend some money and do it, using that one, or maybe you don't want to mess up your race car, or like for
or
some
maybe
reason you
in the
doubt
middle
it.
of the race it breaks, and you think, I can't fix this, even though you built it.
Yeah, right.
I get what you're saying.
You're just sort of like abandoning ship.
Yeah.
When everything you've ever done goes into that race car. Why are you abandoning it at the moment of its first trial?
Yeah.
You know, that's when it can actually prove its virtue, its value.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like when you, everything you, the race car is our body, you know, like we're putting everything, all of our investment is going into building up our bodies. Ultimately for our souls, yes. But its first stop is their nature. And why would we be afraid that God wouldn't also have equipped us to handle a really hard, tough thing?
Yeah.
You know, and
an illness of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought that just reminds me, and this, you know, this might be offensive to some people, but oh well. How I felt about COVID. That was weird, especially in the Pacific Northwest, where we have lived our whole lives as if we have an immune system, and if we eat well and take care of our bodies, we can handle things, we can endure them, and we'll at least go to the nutritional solution before the radical pharmaceutical or the draconian unproven and totally novel, weird social distancing and stuff. And so it was a shock to me when people in like the agrarian movement, people who have, I thought, due to what they've been doing the past 20 years, believed that medicine is food, and food is medicine, and we're capable of dealing with these things. And I, you know, not saying that we totally chuck any conventional medical approach to something, but like at the very least, your premise, your operating assumption is we can treat this with diet, or at least survive it, or we can not throw everything out the window.
Right.
Which is what happened with so many people, and it blew my mind. They were like, I don't know how to drive this race car that I've been building. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Haven't we? What do you got? We've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
Like you've been making sacrifices and things, you know?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
do we not actually believe it?
the car doesn't work?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah. I mean, I saw that. So
It's
you're mentioning
fear.
farmers. Yeah. Some of the worst were the midwives. There were some midwives, even including one of my old midwives.
Yeah.
She would not understand. I mean, I had to have my mask up here and my glasses over it, and I was pregnant, so I literally couldn't breathe.
So suffocating a pregnant woman is
Yeah.
safer
And you know,
than a minor infraction on mask wearing protocol.
I was just like, oh, I thought we believed in the power of the human body to do stuff, like to give birth and then to heal itself.
Yeah.
And then I heard the same thing with some of the farm midwives. I should be a little bit better in my, you know, sourcing and fact checking, but I did see some midwives like abandon ship in that moment of trial. So
yeah, that blew my mind. Anyway.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, that's our approach, and I guess we got confronted with a very serious thing. It was tough.
Whooping cough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or pertussis.
And we found that good diet, good natural treatments, remedies, they saw us through. And I'm a believer.
Yes,
you know?
which is a very hard thing, because you get in that moment, especially if you read WebMD or something, or let's say even if you don't have the exaggerated view of it, like you said, whoa, this is dangerous. Whooping cough. This is not trivial. In that moment, it's so easy, and I think we all do this, except for by extraordinary effort or grace, probably. Fear can take over, and then you end up choosing the more conventional path just because it is trodden by many, not because you are rationally compelled or convinced of its success.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what fear does. It's sort of like this, it makes you default to go with the herd. Run back to the herd. I know all this stuff I've been saying and living for 2 decades, but this is different.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to the herd. That's where I feel safe.
Yeah.
And that is fear, which is by definition contrary to seeing things as they are.
Yeah.
You just can't when you're operating on fear, which is hard to do given something like whooping cough, because that is non-trivial.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, just like midwifery. If you are unhealthy, you're probably not a good candidate for a home birth. But if you are healthy, then you definitely need to not be afraid of it. And it's probably better for you. And in the same way, if you are living a healthy lifestyle with good homegrown food, and you're not regularly eating trash, then you can trust it. So just keep your, and if you're living that way anyway, you're probably already doing plenty of research. You're probably already in the mindset of, I got to do some reading, just get the bare minimum. Like, I need to go in this eyes wide open, understand some big words, not a lot, but a few. Then, or you can understand like exactly how, like the chemistry, like how vitamin C actually works. Then it just helps give you some confidence. Don't abandon it. At that moment, this is what you've been working towards. And again, too, it's case by case basis. Maybe some other disease really shouldn't be treated at home. Maybe that would be the time to go into the hospital. But with this specific case, we did okay. And that's also, too, why we go through, and in general, like I cited some books last week that are questioning vaccine protocols, the conventional routes. But they are either written or endorsed by conventional medical doctors who actually are proponents of vaccine schedules. So it's not like these are crazy cuckoos. They're simply stating, you know what, in the discourse has broken down, and now we've just literally, we're not allowed to talk about actual facts. It's controlled. And in any human endeavor, when freedom is lost to communicate, that's when they stop developing or being created. And the same thing goes with science. It's been controlled. So we actually have lost knowledge. And so that's simply, some of these books that I bring up. And even like the mommy diagnostics books that I look into, she's more conventional. And we decided not to go her route with the way she treats whooping cough. So it's all about like just knowledge, like look things up for yourself. You ultimately are responsible. You can't delegate.
Yeah, to a greater extent. Yeah, then I do think that is a deficiency in society. St. Thomas mentions it explicitly when he talks about why humans are unique, obviously, as the rational animal. And why it is contrary to our nature and actually doesn't work, and it might even be impossible for us to just strut naked out into the great open nothing and survive, which is exactly how dogs, cows, animals survive. They got that, no problem. We can't do that. And instead, we have reason. And then he reasons from the fact that we have reason is that the highest act of reason is this thing called communication. that by which we can communicate with others. So we are insufficiently equipped just in our bodies to provide all the things we need: food, shelter, clothing, medicine. He lists medicine. We have to acquire all of those things, not directly like animals, but indirectly through reason, through principle, and through rational thought, which means speech, cooperating with others in society. That is why we are the human animal. The rational animal is a social animal. We have to be with people because we literally on our own can't supply the pioneering thing. We can't supply all of our primary needs.
Right.
We need to cooperate with others.
The family unit.
Yeah. And you'll experience that. Like medicine, yeah, definitely. You do not have time to become an expert in all the things that could afflict your family. You are still responsible for all of it. But I think that we still have to make an effort, especially when there's crisis in this day and age, because there is this deficiency there where we're not getting it. The fact that, MDs are not trained in nutrition at all.
Yeah.
Means there's only so much they can do for your health. So
Yeah, right.
it's just the nature of our current
The
situation.
system. Yeah, it's not to denigrate doctors. Doctors are not the culprits, and actually some of these books say that.
Yeah.
They're ill-equipped in their education.
Yeah.
Medicine has become about not about prevention.
Yeah.
It's about
Treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So doctors are actually the best people I know. I know some really great doctors, but their education was limited.
Yeah.
So
And we talked about that last time too.
yeah. Okay. So let's get into speaking of communicating.
Yeah.
Let's communicate. What happened? I think if we get into the narrative, actually will help it unfold.
Yeah.
So how did it descend on us? It descended through our oldest child, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Normally the little tykes are the culprits that bring things into the house.
Yeah.
But in this case, our oldest kid did.
And we don't know how.
And I don't care. Yeah, I don't. I don't like it when people try to track how to get it. Who gave it to us? It's like.
Yeah, I think that's
not
TMI
cool.
for concupiscible humans.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing
psychologically
that I have an issue with.
Yeah.
Is when you start getting into the forensics
Yeah.
of where did you catch this? Who gave this to you? Did you go out when you were still inoculating the disease, when you're still infectious? And then it sneaks in this like hunt down your neighbor thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a no. I don't think you can do that. It doesn't work, and it doesn't lead to actual knowledge that can be helpful.
It breaks the human pact.
It does. Because you see, a work of mercy is visiting the sick.
Yeah.
So we have to do that.
Yeah, we have to.
And so much of you have done this to the least of these.
We don't have to all go be Saint Damians and like go contract leprosy, like,
or Saint Catherine and drink the washing bowl with pus from open source.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about.
That's on the order of charity.
Sure.
So we can aspire to that, okay?
Yeah. But we're just saying you don't need to track down who's giving what. Now, at the same token...
Unless you want to unknit your entire community, you can go ahead and do that.
At the same token, I have seen super crunchy mamas who are totally unexperienced say, well, I think it's great if we all just share germs. And they like take their hacking, fevered child into the middle of a nursery, and it's like, come on, like obviously you're not even giving justice to your own child here. Like, your child needs to be in bed,
at
so
home.
that will take care of itself, though. I think there's some disorder on both ends,
Definitely.
but that
was an interruption.
That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So use common sense. Common sense will help.
Well, and for us, it's like if they've got fevers, like you say, and the faucet of mucus, like there's always going to be some mucus.
Yeah.
But sometimes if we're like, fire hose, and just gurgly, expectorant cough all over the place.
Which sometimes, like, our teenage boys
Then
need
no.
to work on that. Like,
Yeah, you gotta
go
stay
excuse
home.
yourself.
Yeah. Stay home, especially with fevers. Like, just like you say, just for the child's sake themselves, that's a sign they need to be resting and not going out.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Okay, so anyway, our oldest child had a cough. Normal cough, seemed normal. I hadn't heard about anything amongst our friends, so it was normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got worse at like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And now also, he's not hacking and spitting on everybody. He's a 15-year-old kid. So he's generally in control of himself too.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was going out, and we're homebodies. So he wasn't going out spreading the thing for the 2 weeks, you know. But it took 2 weeks for us to clue in and go, this is not just a normal cold.
Yeah.
And he stayed up all night, and it turned into a much worse cough at night.
Yeah.
Like spasmodic and almost vomiting.
Mm-hmm.
And then we clued in and we go, oh, and another mom had just recently that I knew of had talked about this with me. And so that's when I started going, oh, I think this is it. And she actually was very helpful because she shared an article at that point.
Yeah. Do you want to describe pertussis, the stages and how it goes?
Yeah, there's 3 stages. The first stage is called the catarrhal stage, and it lasts for a week or 2.
And during that time, it's just like, oh, this is just a normal little chest bug.
It's almost
upper respiratory. It's nothing.
It's the same. It doesn't look any different.
Doesn't look any different.
Yeah.
Right. No fevers. Nothing. Just a little cough.
A little tiny low grade fever, but nothing more than a common cold would give you.
Yeah.
A runny nose, mild cough.
Yeah.
Lasts for 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you enter the paroxysmal stage. That's 2 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I think that's a little long. Actually, if you look into different different rundowns of it, this middle stage will change according to who's describing it.
Well, and I think according to the treatment also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we'll get to.
So this one says 2 to 6 weeks. Sometimes it's a little long, a little less. Ours was 10 to 14 days.
Really? That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was way shorter. It didn't feel like it.
It didn't feel short. But
that is way shorter than what a lot of people deal with.
Yeah, when I just read this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. That is a lot less time.
Yeah, well, and it felt long also because there were 8 of them.
Yeah.
that got it. So all taking turns. So, which is part of how this thing goes through the family. Like for the first 2 weeks, one person is coughing, you know, and you just think it's nothing. But then you learn, oh, I think this is pertussis.
Yeah.
And then you're just waiting for other people to just start having that normal cough. Oh, it's nothing. But so when they start doing a cough that just seems normal, then you know, that's it.
One.
Yeah, we got another
one.
one.
It's like whack-a-mole. Yeah.
So, which means you don't have to delay starting
That's right.
treatment for them.
That's right.
So the first person always gets it the worst because they start their treatment the latest because you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas the moment anybody else in the house does the minorest, most subtle hint of a
Yeah.
then boom.
Yeah.
Vitamin C, get them on it immediately. And that does help.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was even getting them on vitamin C before they started coughing.
Yeah.
And then
once it was in the house.
I would increase their dose.
Yeah.
You know, so everyone was on a basic standard vitamin C treatment, and then when they started doing the little, like
then
it's like we're gonna give it up it by
to saturation, which was so that's the treatment.
I know.
So
then
there's the paroxysm stage.
Yeah, so that's characterized by the violent, rapid coughs that end in a. Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
You almost kind of
Well,
gasping.
to me, the most distinctive feature of it was not the gasp at the end, but it's you. And we'll talk. Well, hopefully you'll talk about exactly why the paroxysm happens. It's a very clear, like we know the whatever it's called, the etiology or whatever of the pertussis bacteria. It is bacteria, and why it causes this kind of cough from the lungs. It's very clear. And that description fits exactly what you see. So it's like you're trying to cough, and it keeps going.
It keeps going. You can't.
I can't even imitate. And you're way out of breath. You're way out of breath.
Yeah.
The cough keeps going because your lungs are still trying to get something out because they've lost their ability to expectorate things. So that is. I don't know. That's a pretty good imitation, I think.
That was pretty good.
But it just keeps going. So, and so we didn't always hear the, that inhalation would be a result of like, now you can finally breathe.
Yeah.
Because you are just, your lungs, your diaphragm or something is just pushing into your like, I really need to breathe. But no, it just keeps going and going and going. So it's this long, drawn out. And it is a spasm of sorts.
Well, and I've even noticed that since we've had it, and it's been at least 9 months since the first one of us got it. Whenever we're in the winter now because we got the summer version. There's a winter version as well, but we got the summer version, and I even get little tiny spasms of it.
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm way over it, but my lungs are still weakened. And same thing with my oldest, is just a common cold will send me into a
little paroxysm.
A little bit of that, or I can't quite get it out.
Yeah.
This conversation will be continued in a forthcoming Part 2 episode. Thanks for listening, and peace be with you.